What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. We have just concluded the PWCQ number 54, and it was a spectacular event, as they always are. Always spectacular event. It was a little bit smaller. We had the GCI event going down simultaneously. We had the 3v3 YCS event, so we still had 49 duels in there, so it's a little bit smaller, but still it was a spectacular event. Shout out to all the duels that played. This thing happened in a timely manner, over and out in 7 hours. Go check that VOD out. It is up on this channel, as they always are as well. So today, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the top 8 deck lists from PWCQ 54. Go ahead and like and subscribe, as always, as we jump on in to the top 8 deck list. Coming on in at number 8, we got Pui back at it again, taking a little break, but now she's back and she's playing some more Spice. Absolutely doing it to him. I'm sure she's going to do something on her channel to kind of really go into detail about this deck list, but it seems like she's got the Ron strategy, but she's also playing the Go control strategy. Got a little bit of Ron control taking place, and this deck is absolutely Fuego Spice. I love the inclusions. I love the Abyss Soldier. I love the D-Mock. I love the Jars, Book of Taiyu, and also you have the Sneaky Summoner of Illusion has made its way into the main deck. I think is really cool. That card is probably slept on, kind of underrated, especially when you're playing the Book of Taiyu, especially when you're playing the Desert Sunlight. Also, Pui elected to bring in the heavy slump in there. This card is absolutely grotesque. You pair that with the giant Trunades, you got the Jars, you got the Book of Taiyu. You can kind of get like a pseudo Ron thing going on, but when Ron's not working out, you can kind of stabilize and fall back on your Go control strategy and absolutely get to the dub. So she was absolutely cooking with this deck. I think it's pretty cool. Switching over to the side deck, you got Breaker in the side, you got Road to Decrees in the side, which I think is another card. We can talk about that a little bit later, but I think this is another meta card that I think can probably find its way back into decks. The one of Walk and the double Dust Shoot, but super duper solid deck. I love the Summon of Illusion technology. I think it is really cool, and this is a good way to kick off the spicy. These PWCQs are getting a little bit spicy. I love to see what these players are doing as they're taking some of these decks to the next level and trying to gain their advantages through deck building. I think it's really neat. But huge shout out to Pui. Welcome back. Cool deck. I'm glad you played it. Make sure you guys get over to her channel, show her some love. I'm sure she's gonna go over this deck in a little bit more detail. Love to see it. Okay, great finish. Top 8 for Pui. Going into number 7, we got number 7. So Pui is also UI. I forgot to mention we got UI at number 8, and we also have Ultra Instinct coming in at number 7, and we got Crash Volt playing this Chaos Turbo strategy with a little bit of return element in there. Triple Dekoichi, triple Spy, which this sorting is all sorts of jacked up. I don't know why I left the sorting like this, but this sorting is some of the worst sorting I think I've ever seen. I should have cleaned it up. That's on me. But we got triple Dekoichi, triple Spy, no Night Assailant Turbo. I know Crash Vote personally. I know he's not a huge fan of Night Assailant card destruction combination, so he's electing to keep it a little bit more rigid, and he's going to try to play this little return element. I think that's really cool. The one of return. We were actually talking about that on stream as well. How the Turbo players can maybe start splashing return in their deck. Everything gets knocked, everything's getting banished to some of your chaos monsters. Well, guess what? Return, you'll never see it coming, and it's going to be a haymaker. In the side deck, it looks like Crash is electing to kind of go more aggressive on the approach coming in the side. They've got double Blade Knight, double Kaiku, double Minecon, triple Saku is going to be in the side deck, and you can also bump up to triple Trap Dust Shoot in situations where Trap Dust Shoot will benefit you, as you only have one in the main deck, and Dust Tornado is in the main deck. It's a very interesting inclusion, having a main deck Dust Tornado. I don't think I've seen that in Turbo in a while, but I think it kind of pairs well with that one of return. You play Dust, set return vibe. You know, you guys already know how it goes on, but this is Chaos Turbo. It's going to do what it does. It's got the return piece in there, so I think that is really cool. Huge shout out to Crash Volt. Ultra Instinct still in the building. And speaking of more Ultra Instinct, we have coming in at 6th place, we have Nate Dogg. So that's 3 Ultra Instinct members in the top 8 of this tournament, and I think that's pretty neat. Shout out to that Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling team, as Nate Dogg is going full in to the return. Very similar, you know what I'm saying, this to the world champion Dingo 6 configuration, kind of still doing their own thing with it. You got the Blades, you got the Shining Angels, you got the Zaborgs, you have the triple Dekoichi, triple Spy, kind of standard at this point. You have the Sorks, and you have the BLS as well to fuel that return. And this deck can get up and down, as you guys seen it in the stream. Nate was absolutely cooking. He's been kind of going crazy with this return as of late. You got the Book of Moons in there in the control, as control's been coming back. You got Book of Moon. That's a good answer to that. You have the triple Solemn Judgment, double return, one Dust Tornado Tornado in the main deck. In the side deck, I really like the Cannon Soldier. I think that's pretty cool. Good anti-burn measure. Also, you play return, hit for a bunch of damage, summon Cannon Soldier, or return Cannon Soldier sometime, hit for a bunch of damage, Cannon Soldier, pop the rest of it. I think that's a vibe. You got Jowgen also in there, a great Shining Angel target, as well as the Roulette Barrel. Triple Minecon, triple Saku in the side deck. Triple Minecon. Are we there yet? Are we still there? I think that might be something that these duelists are starting to exploit. Triple Minecon in the side deck, I don't think it's as good as it was. It still might get some value. Maybe Nate Dogg is just feeling it. It's a vibrational kind of thing. Triple Minecon, maybe. But I think that and you can kind of, it's going to be kind of a little bit more evident as the tournaments go along. But Triple Minecon, I think, is something that's being exploited heavily in these side days. So maybe that's something that I would consider maybe trying something different. I don't know. We'll see. But huge shout out to Nate Dogg, getting closer, but just can't seem to get over that threshold still. And it just sucks. It just sucks sometimes. It is what it is. Great performance by Ultra Instincts all around. Okay, coming into 5th place, we have Team Evil's Grumple Stillskin with a 5th place finish. He's been on the scene. He kind of had some good showings, took a step back, and now he's back at it again with a 5th place finish, bringing that Thunderclap strategy back to the forefront yet again. This was more textbook Thunderclap. You double Zaborg, 1 Sork, BLS. This is pretty much the deck that Grumple has been playing consistently when he's not doing his other things with the Mud Fairies and he's doing other things with other strategies that he's using. He's got this Thunderclap deck pretty much locked in. It seems pretty solid. Triple Spy, double Dekoichi, triple Solemn Judgment, double Trap Dust Shoot, and a 1 of Dust Tornado. Still no return. I bet this deck can easily fit a return in there somewhere. Maybe, I don't even know if you can even side it or whatever. Maybe it just doesn't like return. I don't know. But I think this deck is really cool. Thunderclap strategy, extra Zaborg. You got the Zinger in there. You have the Tsukiyomi. Again, another abysmal sorting. I don't know how I'm letting all these bad sortings get through the inspection chart, but this is terrible sorting. Just 1 Sakuretsu armor in the side deck. You already have 2 in the main deck. Zambara, Tsukiyomi, Mind Control, Cliff, and Amazon is Archer. He's got a lot of burn tech. Looks like he got it set up for burns, you got it set up for warriors, and you got it set up for control. So I think that's why it's set up that way. But I still think I should have edited and made it look a little bit nicer. But huge shout out to Grumple as well, doing his thing, making his Thunderclap a viable deck. I think this is probably, in my opinion, one of the better decks in the format. I think Zaborg is that good. I think Spy is that good. I think very heavily of Chaos Sorcerer, obviously, in BLS. I think there's some amalgamation of this flip warrior, a deck that can play Rhoda and flips. Somewhere in there is the best deck in the format, in my opinion. Better than Turbo even. All right, so huge shout out to Grumple Stillskin for your 5th place finish. Okay, so now moving on, we have 4th place. We have Rabbit, who's a known Thunderclapper, elected to just drop that to go back to a more of a standard warrior deck, but he's got 15. No, check that. We got 16 trap cards in his warrior deck. So he's like, every event Rabbit tops, I'm just gonna add another trap card and just keep going up until you got 20 trap cards because no one is playing Royal Decree. If you look at all these top decks so far, no one has Royal Decree in their deck except for the 8th place deck of Pui. It's the only one playing Royal Decree, but everyone's playing Solemn Judgments. Everyone's playing all these bona fide trap cards. So having maybe it's time that you can include Royal Decree as a part of your plan when you're playing, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just too counter to you. But still, Rabbit out here rocking it. 13 monsters, 16 traps, getting after it, playing his warrior deck. Very standard for the most part, except for that trap lineup. As I mentioned, you got the Jar of Greaves, you have the Widespread Ruin, you have the double Sakuretsu armor, and a little bit of obscuration technique. They don't know how many battle traps are on if you have the 3 of like that. And then when you enter into the side deck, you have an interesting play. You go with the Giant Grenades and you go with the Big Bang Shot. I think those cards are very good. I think Giant Grenade is a very, very good card. And Rabbit was using it to the best of his ability, and it was getting maximum value out of it. Because sometimes you go second. Your opponent sets up all their trap cards. You play a nice timely Giant Grenade, reset all that stuff, and now you're able to set your trap cards. And it kind of just puts your opponent on a back foot. And also, you have these Big Bang Shots. You can pair the Big Bang Shot with the Giant Grenade, and there you go. You got combinations all around because you can banish their stuff, and then you can get the Big Bang Shot back to your hand, put it on your card. And we saw Big Bang Shot just securing some victories, even in matchups that you may not think, because you can put a Big Bang Shot on a Blade Knight now and run over a GK Spy, and you're negating the effect, and also you're getting a little bit of pierce damage in there as well. So I think that card is also super valuable, especially when you're armed with these 2 Assure Priests as well. If this duel does encounter a GOAT player, you now have an OTK built into your side deck because you can Assure Priest, Big Bang, Giant Grenade, or Giant Grenade, Assure Priest, Big Bang the hell out of them, and then this is just going to be a GG. So I think it's really solid warrior deck. I think Rabbit put a lot of thought into this. Berserker Gorilla was going crazy, Kinetic Soldier, Still not fully sold on Kinetic Soldier in the side deck, but you got to play the cards you like as well. So huge shout out to Rabbit and for another 4th place performance. And you just, I mean, obviously everybody knows who Rabbit is, and he's going to continue to have great success as the season continues to progress. All right, so huge shout out to 4th place Safari Zones. Rabbit is going to be securing that position. As we go to 3rd place, we have the Duelist Undefined, and this is another style of Thunderclap in Undefined's own way. He said he got some inspiration from another duelist. I think Patton's Decklist, very similar to that, is kind of Highlander-esque in terms of the numbers. Love to see that. One of all the way across. This is if something's going to be more of a pile, this is more piley, but still I think it fits the Thunderclap billing. You have a lot of flips. You're able to play Reinforcements of the Army. You're able to play the Abyss Soldier and Spirit Reaper are in there. And it just seemed like, even as I was watching this deck on the stream, it seemed like I didn't know what the ratios were, what the numbers were. Is there multiple Spirit Reapers? Are you on double are you on double Abyss Soldier? How many Zaborgs are in there? How many spies are you on? You're able to kind of, and that's the benefit of playing a deck like this. When you see Reinforcement of the Army, you automatically lean on Warriors. Well, now he's setting just as much as the Turbo player, but still not too much because Spirit Reaper can get very aggressive too. So these decks, I think, have a place in GOAT format. I think this is what the format is going to end up being like, in my opinion. I think these hybrid kind of real setty, flippy, aggressive decks with side deck configurations to counter what the opponent might do back to you is probably going to be the future of where this game is going to be played, and I'm here for it. I think that opens up a lot of avenues, a lot of things for these players to exploit and to just add some variety and depth to this game. So I think that's really cool, and I like what Undefined has going on here. In the side deck, I think the one-of Saki strategy continues on as you got more, if you have just more one-ofs, you do have another Smashing Ground. You can go up to 2, Mind Con, another Dust Shoot, just to go up to 2. But also another thing that this duelist is doing is playing Threatening Roar, which I think is a good card, because there was so much Reasoning Gate in this tournament, more Reasoning Gate than I've seen in a long while. Maybe it was just like I was saying, with all the other things that were going on, didn't have time to come up with other stuff, or they just want to try their Reasoning Gate stuff out. But there's a lot of Reasoning Gate in this event. Having a Threatening Roar probably secured some wins, or stopped Undefined from getting knocked out of this thing earlier than you wanted to. A timely Reasoning Gate can do, or timely Threatening Roar can do that. But again, huge shout out to Undefined for your 3rd place finish. Keep playing. I like to see what you got going on here. I think this deck is pretty cool. This is a deck that I think I would also like to try out myself. All right, huge shout out to this Thunderclap deck as we are going to go on into 2nd place. So again, with another 2nd place top performance. Oh my goodness. Somebody has to figure out how to beat this duelist and your 1st place duelist. Somebody's got to figure it out. I don't know what to do. Okay, it's not me. It's up to these players. It's up to you out there. If you got what it takes to take out Don't Copy, go ahead and get into these tournaments and knock this duelist out of here, as Don't Copy has got another 2nd place finish. This time, changing it up again, and we're going to play the Panda Burn strategy. We're going to play Panda Burn over here, so it's pretty chill. Panda Burn, but if you look into the side, we got a little bit of smoke screeneration over here, a little bit of obscuration technique, a little bit of smoke as we're switching from burn to a earth aggro deck. I think that is super cool. I think Alethea played this deck a little bit last season. I know Don't Copy and Alethea are on the same dueling team. Maybe you got some inspiration from there, but you got the main deck DD Assailant, and you saw that in some of the games, and that kind of was a little bit of a telltale sign of what Don't Copy was cooking. But even DD Assailant in the main deck is still a pretty good card. You have that one of Rhoda. You can Rhoda for DD Assailant and just start swinging. If you can get that 17 to connect, 1 or 2 times, your burn trap should be able to seal the deal. Also, you don't have no cross up, but you're leaning on these Mind Cons. It's really not a good way to convert those, but just moving the guy out of the way. Like I said, moving the guy out of the way, Giant Trinade, move a thing out of the way, punch in with 17, Ojama lock him, and then send big burn. That's going to be a vibe. And then game 2, and beyond, your opponent has a decision to make, because now they're bringing in Mobius, Dust Tornadoes, Walks. You're reducing all that stuff. Maybe you keep a couple of chainable burn cards, and you're bringing in big bodies. Big bodies are going to be able to just get after their hitbox. So I think this is a really cool deck. I think it's a very complete deck, and I think Don't Copy is a great player. Continue to do this thing with different unique strategies. So this is something that you can probably take to your local game or bring out to wherever you're playing GOAT format out at and have some immediate success, because this deck is really going to be hard to play against for newer players. Newer players struggle against burn. and then the smoke screen plan is going to be a vibe. So I think that's really, really neat. So huge shout out to Don't Copy for another second place finish. Trying to go for that 6th invitation, didn't quite get there because you ran into an absolute chainsaw yet again. Another PWCQ victory for the SJC FLC 2-time GFC champion and now 5-time PWCQ winner. We have Anthony Alvarado. He did it in spectacular fashion this time with another. Again, you can kind of pay attention. You see what these players are doing. You see what's happening. This is something that people can start to build on and start to grow from. This transition side situation might be the future, as Alvarado has just stepped in with a 13 trap card warrior main deck. Faith is in the main deck. Minecon is in the main deck, trying to hedge for that turbo stuff and also preparing for the warriors because you have triple Sakura-Retsu armor. So I think that's a good call in the main deck. And that would have been enough. That would have just been good enough. I think Alvarado's a good enough player to win with a deck like this alone with standard side ratios. But he took it to the next level and said, you know what? I'm going to play a transition type situation to really befuddle my opposition. And I got more Magicians of Faith coming in because guess what? You see I'm playing Warriors. 95% of the time, most duelists are going to go ahead and reduce their Nobleman of Crossouts to 0, probably reduce the mind cons, up the battle traps, and all the kind of stuff. Well, guess what? I have Mobius is coming for you. I have Zingers coming for you. I have Apprentice Magicians coming for you. I have all these cards, and you better be ready to deal with that, or you're going to play this game with me. And I'm telling you, Alvarado's probably the best at this internal game, this mental chess of what I'm siding, what you're siding kind of thing. That's where he's able to gain these edges. I've seen his duelists do that quite significantly throughout the past couple of dueling seasons, man. So that's a dangerous game that you're going to be playing. And you got triple Sort coming in there, and you got triple Faith. So if he's on triple Faith and you have no knock, like, you're going to lose. Like, there's no way you're going to win. So you got to figure out, am I keeping my knocks in? And then he just takes a minute and a half looking at the DB screen while you're side decking, and it just runs it back, and now your deck is ass because you've thrown all these things trying to figure out what he's going to do. So it's a lot of angles that this deck can play, and I think that is really, really cool. As triple Sork, triple Fae, triple Apprentice Magician, Old Vindictive is going to be in there as well, along with Mobius and also the double Zaborg. So you can even go into like a weird little Apprentice Monarch situation if that's how you want to give it up too. If that's how you want to do it, you can do that as well. So I think it's got a lot of different ways it can hit you. A lot of different ways it can bring the smoke, but I thought it was really cool that Alvarado came out and brought this deck today. So huge shout out to all the duels that came out and played. Huge shout out to everyone who participated. Huge shout out to everyone who hung out and watched the stream. But get into the comment section. Let me know what your favorite deck was, and let me know what you think about these transition sides. Is it the future? Is that the next evolution in GOAT format? Like, just side decking as a weapon, side decking as a tool might be the way the future. Instead of side decking for matchups, just side decking for advantage, I think might be what the next wave of GOAT format is going to be. But get in the comment section, tell me those things. As always, I'm JDZ. I play GOATs. Until next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.